gathered here today to cringe.
I hope I'm not recording over anything important. Okay, drop it. Coach Z, 1, 2, 3, 4. I said Coach Z, 1, 2.
Thank you, Strongman.
Nintendo is taking down every ROM known to man. Xbox is taking down every single Xbox 360 game, and Sony is censoring everything that they've ever made. Let's mod a Vewlix. Okay, so let's go over the stuff that I've been doing with the Vewlix here and what's coming down the pipeline. I need a home button or a guide button for an Xbox 360, and I need a L3 and R3 specifically to get into options for my Naomi emulator, which has mapped those functions apparently to service and test. So I want to have those, and then also I'm probably just going to have the fourth button be touchpad. Now, I know a lot of people modify these dummy panels up here. For lack of better description, I don't know what else to call them. However, mine, as you can tell, are in stupid nice condition, and the thought of taking a drill bit to it just makes me weep. I cannot find aftermarket or OEM panels for sale. So my fear is if I fuck this up, there's no going back, and I can't just replace them with other panels because no one has them for sale. Also, I kind of like the cleanliness look of the dead panel there, and it gives me an area to put my Stream Deck and my remote keyboard mouse thing and this completely useless but awesome Bubble figurine. What I have instead is devised a plan to get rid of this Bana Passport. Now, part of this kind of makes me a little sad, just because this is part of the history of the cabinet. This means that it was part of a Bandai arcade, but basically for me, since I am not an arcade operator, it's completely useless. So what I want to do is replace that with this. I got this 3D printed, and it will replace this Bana Passport with 4 24mm buttons. I have 4 buttons coming in to the mail. They're like a black ring with a dark gray center, and then one will be orange to basically kind of be a nod back to this. I'm not sure if I'm going to leave this here or not. I know I probably should, just because it's the history of this thing, and it's a cool logo nonetheless. I just don't know how out of place it'll look without this being here. The next thing I did is that I finally got my blue switched crown button in. So now all my face buttons are crowns, which is great. This does feel different. I suspect that maybe this is not a cherry. Maybe it's a Gateron or something. The guy I dealt with was a little sketch, but basically I didn't want to modify one of these on my own again from Focus Attack, because the last time I did that, I apparently broke the button. So kind of is what it is. I'm not jamming away on the start button anyway, so I don't really care. But as you can tell, it has a slightly different sound. It still has that same sort of actuation click as these. It just feels a little deader. I do have a new ball top coming in. I'm sure you guys are aware that I had a bullet style up here, and I don't know what it is. It's funny. I'm not someone who's really used to Japanese arcades. I'm used to American arcades as far as that like bat stick sort of setup. I am infinitely better at games with a ball top than I am with that bullet top, and I trust me, I really tried forcing it because I think it looks cooler, but I just wasn't having it. It's not comfortable to hold in most games. I don't feel like it's large enough for it to be considered a bat top, and unfortunately, since it's more of a cylindrical sort of thing, it's thinner and narrower than the ball top is, so making, like, gripping it in a traditional way felt really uncomfortable, and trying to do any sort of moves in fighting games was just not really fun. I do have a ball top coming in though, I was able to luckily find one of the ball top that I thought I was going to get with the original machine that fell through. And that is the Nessica X Live 2 engraved ball tops. So it'll actually have the ball top it should have on there, which is cool. The next modification that I did was take out these locks. So these locks were recommended by several different people on the forums, on the Project Arcade forums, and I really don't know why. I mean, yes, they fit and visually they look okay, but these are junk. These are absolute junk. These keys, it's almost like the lock is spring-loaded or something. If the key is in the unlocked position, they shoot out. I'll be here playing a game and all of a sudden it'll just be like, "Ba-doo!" just come at you. So I took those out. They also loosen over time, and frankly speaking, the locking mechanism kind of sucked as well. There was basically no reason to want these. I hated using these things. I also don't need a lock because I'm obviously not playing my shit in an arcade. So what I got instead were these twisty thumb ones. And not only are they much more sturdy, have a nice satisfying click when they go open and close, they don't loosen, they're black, and it just works as a lock better. More importantly, trying to take these off before with the key and with the key wanting to jump out was almost impossible. Now, just a matter of opening that up, closing it. It acts as a little handle so that you can open up the door and the drawer down below. Just way easier than trying to pull on a key that wants to constantly come out of the lock. There's nowhere to grip on this door or this drawer here, so it's nice to have something that actually provides you some form of grip and isn't going to come out like a key. And now I can access my volume and everything else. Definitely recommend them. They're on Amazon. They come in a 2-pack, unfortunately, and you need 4. I did put one on the bottom here of my control panel. However, I'm leaving it permanently unlocked, but at least there's no hole there anymore. A modification I would definitely recommend. Okay, next, I'm trying to make room for the Taito. The power module here, which I believe is for things like the fans, was here, which is a really inconvenient spot because basically it's taking up like 6 inches of space. I had Retro Tuna, shout out to Retro Tuna, give me the measurements of his Type X3, and it's a rather wide computer, and so I needed more horizontal space in order to make room for that thing. So I've remounted that power supply to the side enclosure for the coin door. And then I use this hard drive mount that I took from my custom PC, my Thermaltake, and I've used the mounting holes from that power supply to screw it down here. This enables me to go over this center wire loom here so that I have a flat surface that I can put either the Namco or the Taito Type X3 and have it flush and horizontal so it won't be like teeter-tottering on that wire loom. I have all sorts of these style clips, but in black. I'll be replacing the stock ones with black ones and then using that to further clean up my cable management. However, I didn't want to fully cable manage everything because I don't have all my hardware here yet. So next you'll see I have devised a system where I have one HDMI cable coming from the monitor itself, extension cable from the back that goes to the PC, one that goes to the Xbox, one will be for the Taito, which I haven't wired yet, obviously. And I'm physically just switching things over. My thought process is I have to do that anyway for the AC lead. I only have one plug in, which I did that on purpose because I only want one device to be potentially turned on because I don't want to overload my step-down converter. So every single time I go ahead and start a new device, I want to be able to plug it in specifically. So if I want the PC in, I plug in the PC. If I want the Xbox, I plug in the Xbox. If I want the Taito, I'll plug in the Taito. When I do that, I'll plug in the HDMI. Now, I did have HDMI splitters / KVMs. However, each one didn't work in its own way. So the first one didn't work at all. It worked as a USB switcher, but it didn't work for any of my HDMI devices. The second one didn't work with the Xbox 360, and the third one didn't work with the PC. And I just got really sick and tired of ordering these things. I'll show them on the screen here, hopefully, right now. There you go. I even got recommended the first one by someone on the forum, so I don't know if I just got like a defective one or something, but yeah, they're kind of shit. Next is the Xbox itself. As well as you know from my previous video, the servers are being shut down in July on the 29th, and I thought that it would be wise of me to go ahead and make more purchases on my account, only for me to lose 4 games. It could be more at this point. I don't even know. Fuck Microsoft silly. I have a modded one coming in that has everything on the hard drive that I could ever possibly want to play, including original Xbox games, and that'll be that. Next, as you can see, I went ahead and updated the lighting. I had those puck lights in here before, and those sucked. So these are motion activated. They mount via magnets, and super easy. They're super cheap. They're on Amazon. I would definitely recommend them. So for the Type X3, I picked up this 1060. I got a single fan, so I know it's going to fit in the case. That case will not fit a triple fan setup, and depending on which one you get, might not fit a dual fan setup GPU. The system is coming in from Europe. It is already modded with the BIOS that allows me to plug in any GPU that I want, so I should have no problems with this one. Next, I have a JST to USB little motherboard that I got from someone on the forums. I might not need this though, because my unit did come with a unit from Taito that basically does the same thing, it's just a larger board. We'll see which works better. The next thing is I got some games for my 246 that's coming in. Right now I have Soul Calibur 3, an original copy. I have an original copy of Gundam Z something or other DX. This is the deluxe version, that's all I need to know. It's a nicer version. All these memory cards are original, by the way, so that's at least nice. And these are the original DVDs. This is the only one that I have so far that's not an original disc, which doesn't matter because the way that it does copyright is through the memory card, which if you're familiar with PlayStation 2 looks awfully familiar because it's just a Magic Gate memory card, but it is not a memory card, it is a key. So they use the same technology, works in a completely different way for a completely different reason. In case you don't know, a Namco 246 is essentially the arcade version of a PlayStation 2. So this is a fighting game, Bakaru Sengoku or Sengoku Bakaru or something like that. Looking forward to that. It looks rather interesting. It's like a 2D, 3D mix sort of thing, kind of like Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I also have, coming with the hardware, the Gundam Seed 2 game, and then I have a Gundam versus Gundam game coming in as well, along with Fate Unlimited Codes, which is a really cool looking fighting game. So I'll have enough to play. What's interesting is that I found this Soul Calibur 3 rather easily. However, apparently this is like the rarest one of all the Soul Calibur games for the arcade games. This is like the rarest one to find.
Exactly. Yeah, no emulator, guys. This is running on real arcade hardware. We do not mess around here in LBC. That's right, guys. It's literally the rarest edition of Soul Calibur.
Good patience. Good awareness.
However, I cannot find for the life of me Soul Calibur 2, which apparently is infinitely more common. But yeah, I can't find it. A couple other games that I really want is Capcom Fighting Jam and Bloody Roar 3, which are both for the system. But I can't find those either. Time will tell. So there you have it. There's some updates from the Vewlix Diamond Black front. A lot of things have gone well, but a lot of things have gone pretty poorly. I would definitely recommend you taking my advice when it comes to what to buy and what not to buy, and saving yourself some trouble if you're about to do this whole Vewlix thing on your own. A lot of my mods, in fact pretty much all of my mods, should apply for your Vewlix regardless of which model that you got. And I'm looking forward to fixing everything and to getting the new Taito and 246 hardware in, and I can't wait to show that off to you guys. It's coming along. It's coming along. Just want it to work. But anyway, until then, figuring it out.
Brother in the